The Martin Maldonado game. Padres over the Brewers. The Brewers have been red hot. Jim is eating a cookie, but the Padres snapped their mini 2-game slide. They win in Milwaukee behind Randy Vasquez. Randy Vasquez winning. Well, actually didn't get the win, but the Padres win behind Randy Vasquez. Here today, they scratch across a run early. Manny Machado hits another home run. He has been among the hottest hitters in the sport since Jim tweeted, yikes. I think
You're welcome.
Yikes about Machado. So make your way in and subscribe. Year-round content for you. Smash the like button for us. We need 400 likes tonight. All right, folks? 400. 450. Live run replay. Follow us on X at John Schaefer at Jim Russell SD. Thank you for your support of the channel with the Super Chats. We really do appreciate you. If you want to control the direction of the conversation, if you have a question or comment, just want to see your comment on screen, click the $ below the chat box. If you want to become a member, click join down below. You get emojis and badges. Padres just always find ways, Jim. Like, they're resilient when their backs are kind of against the wall. Not that they were fully today, but with the pitching injuries and the position player injuries and just the question marks over the last couple of days, they just put together a good enough game where the pitching leads the way. Enough offense. This offense has not been good at all. We'll get into that. But Manny Machado has been terrific. Martin Maldonado is Johnny Bench at this point, and the Padres win game 1 in Milwaukee.
I also am fully responsible for Martin Maldonado's night, by the way.
That's right.
Like, that one's me, guys. You're welcome. It's a really encouraging sign, and we've talked about this. It's encouraging that they're finding ways to win these games with the guys in the lineup who are slumping. You know, we're not talking about Brandon Lockridge's of the world and Tyler Wade's and Martin Maldonado's slumping, because they're always slumping. They might have a couple games here and there. Like tonight, Martin Maldonado, one of the players of the game, right? Mm-hmm. But the main guys arise. He had a big hit tonight. Don't get me don't get me wrong, but over his last however many games, over
14 games, he's hit like 210 or something.
Yeah. So tonight, great. He had game-winning hit early on. It proved to be the game-winning hit. Game-winning RBI. But Arise, Tatis, Merrill, Bogarts, all four of those dudes are slumping in their own ways, and some of them are slumping worse than others. Yet they're finding ways to win, which only bodes well for when those guys get out of their slumps. You know, like when those guys get out of their slumps, that's only going to, I mean, you would think they're going to be closer to where they were at the beginning of the year than they are right now, which is since 14-3, basically a 500 team.
Yep.
So I think, you know, stack up these wins, however you stack them up. At this point in time, you're almost like, I don't care how they get these wins. Like, winning 1-0 is, I mean, the offense is still a problem, but I'd much rather be talking about a bad offense after a win than bad offense after a loss.
Yeah, it's a great point. We can get into some of the specifics of the offense, but how Randy Vasquez manages to do this, where he's on the road against an offense that had scored 6.2 runs per game in their last 10. That was second in baseball. He issues 4 walks. We were on the air maybe when there was first and second, nobody out in the second inning. And he gets a ground ball double play, and he just works through traffic. I mean, you look at his whip, and it's not good, but the ERA is the story, and it's sub-4, and he goes 4. Yeah, I mean, it is Frogger, and it's like, I don't even know how he's doing it. You tweeted out smoke and mirrors, whatever, it counts, and I'll take it. And then the bullpen. I mean, you call on Wandy Peralta. You got to go a long distance when you go to your bullpen in the 5th inning on the road, and that's what they did. They've got a bullpen that is capable of carrying the load. I don't know if they can do it for 162, but it's a series where it's Vasquez, Kolek, Bergert, and you've won game 1, and you have a chance to win the series by winning either Saturday or Sunday. So I think it's a credit to Randy Vasquez. I mean, he's never going to be Randy Johnson, so I don't even know what I'm asking of him. He doesn't throw hard. His command isn't great, but when he needs to spin it out or 2 with men on base, he seemingly is able to do that. So he gets credit for helping the Padres win this game. He didn't even allow a hit until the 4th inning, but there were base runners all night, and he, dodged allowing a run.
You just hope that the real Randy Vasquez doesn't show up and rear its ugly head too much this year.
Yep.
And you hope that this smoke and mirrors, back alley magician just continues to do this. Like all of his numbers, his advanced numbers stink. Yet he's going out there and putting up zeros when he probably shouldn't be and getting the job done. There's no way in hell I'd ever pitch him in a postseason game. Like
no chance in hell.
No chance in hell. But, in a regular season where you are down a couple guys in your rotation, you need dudes to step up. And I don't care how you're getting it done. If you're getting it done, it's all that matters. And you just, just ride the wave for as long as you possibly can with Randy Vasquez until the wheels fall off. Because when you look at his numbers, eventually, if he continues to go out there every fifth day, the wheels will fall off. We just don't know when that will be. But until then, you just ride that wave and ride that ride until, you see otherwise.
And is it not so Padres to go Wade bunt single?
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, Wade bunt
Maldonado
single.
hit and run.
Maldonado hit and run.
43 hopper to the right side.
Arise slaps a ball by a drawn-in third baseman. Right? Like that's so and honestly, it's a credit to them. They know who they are. This is not like a one-off. It's like, oh wow, Wade got on base with something in the infield. Like it happens. And it's not a one-off that Arise produces with men on base. So like this is how they win. As crazy as that sounds, like I don't have the number in front of me. There was a stretch where they had scored 1 run or fewer in 9 of 18 games. They only scored 2 runs today. The odds are so significantly stacked against you to win when scoring 2 or fewer runs. Like you should not be winning at a good clip, scoring 2 or fewer runs, specifically on the road, and then against a good team. I mean, Milwaukee's 18-10 at home coming into the series. So like all these things stacked against you, you scratch across a run. Your bullpen is really good. And there were some stressful innings in there, by the way. Vasquez and the bullpen. There were base runners all night long. Milwaukee obviously was terrible with men in scoring position. And then Machado. I mean, you cannot say enough about Manny Machado, where he is right now. Like just in this moment in time where he's getting to 2,000 hits within the month. He's blown past 350 home runs. He's well on his way now, Jim, to that 30 home run season we always covet. He's well on his way to maybe hitting 300 this year. So he's doing the things in the regular season to get you there. Definitively doing that. When Tatis is going through it, and he is going through it. When Merrill's going through it, and he is going through it, not like Tatis. For Manny Machado to be the steadying force and produce, I mean, he is worth his weight in gold here in 2025 to this point.
As he goes, the team goes. Pretty simple.
Yeah, except yesterday, but yes.
Except yesterday, but you can't be win 100% of the games that Manny plays well in. Right. But if you win,
90, it's like 85.
Well, yeah, it's like 85, 90% of the time,
With him, it is, yeah.
And in baseball, that's an insane percentage. Shout out to Kyle Glazer for posting this stat tonight on social media. Padres, their bullpen in the last 6 games, John, did you see this? 24 2/3 innings pitched, 1 run allowed.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So they're back. Knock on wood. Jeez. So that's great. And then, Manny Machado, he's just seeing the ball so well right now. This was an opposite field home run, which he hasn't had many this year. And when he's doing that, yeah, he's on fire. He's hot. Like Oppo field home run for Manny Machado. Remember earlier this year, we were talking like he hasn't hit one to right field all year long. Like,
right.
Like deep. Not even just like a home run, just like hit one to right field that got dropped for a hit or a double or something. He was up the middle and pull side. So yeah, he's on fire right now. But the pitching's leading the way. And if it wasn't for that 5-run blown lead the other night in San Francisco, this road trip to start their, kind of little mini gauntlet here would have been off to a perfect start. 3-2. Actually, you know what? I would still take that. So, so far, so good.
Yeah, you get out of this road trip 4-3, and that's a really good trip. San Francisco, Milwaukee, with the pitching injuries that you're suffering, and we'll get into those over the next hour. That's going to be a good trip, and that's what they have to do here. Take at least one of the next two. Let's get started here tonight with the first super of the night. Guys, if you are here, 200 of you are here live right now. Please subscribe. If you're here on replay, please subscribe. Thank you for the super chats if you're here live. Thank you for the super thanks if you're here on replay. Every so often with the first super of the night, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah. The home run wasn't an opposite home run tonight. I'm an idiot.
It was down the left field line. It was just
I don't know why I thought that.
Yeah, it was down the left field line. He pulled it.
Whatever. I'm an idiot.
You were, yeah. I mean, the Oilers are in the Stanley Cup. We get it.
My mind's on the Stanley Cup final, guys. Sorry.
Every so often, thank you for the first super. If you want to contribute, click the $ below the chat box like every so often did. He says, Vasquez is that good old effectively wild. Yeah, he's that effectively wild pitcher. I mean, it's not like he's wild like he's a flamethrower that's wild. And like he's not Mitch Williams, right? That's the opposite of who he is. Like he's crafty, but he doesn't necessarily always hit his spots. And he's issued a lot of walks this year. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Jim can find them. It's how many walks and how many innings. It's way too high. I promise you that, especially for sub-4 ERA.
He's got a 3.69 ERA and a 1.45 WHIP. Like those don't match up.
That's not sustainable. How many walks and how many innings?
In 63 and a third innings, he has 34 walks.
That's terrible. So that's 5 walks per every 9 innings, and you want to be around 3, especially with a guy that doesn't have the stuff that gets tons of swings and misses, but it's working. Will it work all year? I loved your point. I mean, you're not pitching him anywhere near a postseason game. I'm sorry.
No.
But can he get you? Can he help get you there? The answer to this point is yes. There's 60-something games into the year. He's appeared whatever number of times, 13 plus times. He's helping get them there.
Yeah, 58 hits in 63 and a third innings.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Plus, then you add on the like get this. He's walked 34 dudes and struck out 37.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So, like, yeah, he is doing this like with magic.
Yeah.
And he kind of reminds me a little bit of like, I mean, Matt Waldron, I think, was better last year. He put together starts that were better, but he's doing the Matt Waldron role from last year.
He is.
You know, like you needed a good start tonight after the 2 losses in San Francisco, and you got a good start. It wasn't anything crazy. It was 4 2/3, but and he only went 78 pitches, but Schilt had a fully ready bullpen and he utilized it. Like he was not taking any chances there with Randy Vasquez. And I actually really like the aggressive move there from Schilt.
Agreed.
Knowing that he has a kind of a hot bullpen right now and everyone's rested because of yesterday getting the length that you got in the bullpen, saving everybody. So he said enough was enough, got everything that we're possibly going to get from Randy tonight, not going to push it. Had some lefties coming up and went to Wandy Peralta, and Wandy Peralta did great. And Adrian Morejon, by the way, like, I mean,
he's been terrific,
dude. An inning and a third, scoreless, 2 strikeouts, just looked really, really good. Jeremiah Estrada coming in a big moment as well with a big strikeout, and then Robert Suarez is looking dominant in the 9th inning. Like the bullpen's hot again, and Schilt knew it, and he had a rested bullpen, and he used it, and it paid off big time.
How about Morejon's career arc and how he's gotten to this role? He's become a dominant reliever. It took a lot of time. He was developed. He's gone from starter to reliever. He's dealt with injury, and here he is, just excelling at this point in his career. Accepting this is his role. They paid him a fortune of money a long time ago, towards the beginning of AJ Preller's tenure, and it's absolutely paying off here in the mid-2020s, and hopefully that continues for a while with Adrian Morejon. It's a really good point. The other point you made earlier today on John and Jim is the Padres just don't play laughers. They're leveraging the frick out of innings. Every inning is taxing. Every inning is, adversity facing, and they come through a lot. Jason Adam, they didn't want to use him today. They didn't. They still win the game. That's happened a lot this year where they don't use Adam or Suarez, and they still win the game, man. They really deal with a lot of high leverage, highly taxing innings. It's only the first half of the year. I hope it doesn't catch up with them. You mentioned the last time they had a laugher, won a game, I think, by more than 4 runs, was when they won 21-0, and that was a month ago on May 10th in Colorado. So they're not winning easy, but they're winning enough to be 10 games over 500.
Yeah, nothing easy.
Nothing.
And it would be nice if the next win that they got, which was be hopefully tomorrow, is a nice 6-1 win.
Be great.
And it's not one of those where you score 5 in the 8th.
Yeah, how about 5 in the first and win 6-1?
Can you get 5? How about this? How about can you get 2 in the first? Can you get 2 in the third? Can you get 2 in the 5th? Right? Like spread it out a little bit. I mean, still, everyone would take a 5-run first inning tomorrow, but
of course,
they've blown some 5-run leads of late when they scored early and not scored late. That's happened, twice now in the last couple of weeks. So maybe spread it out a little bit. But the stress of these games that they're winning, at some point, you would like to see them have a little bit of a, laugher. I'm not saying 21-0 laugher because that's not going to happen. I'm just talking like a 6-1 win.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't kidding earlier in the year. We're like, wow, the Padres bullpen has a chance to be like really good. Like their bullpen is like their whole DNA. It's like, go get a lead. Don't expect the offense to add on and just go preserve the lead. It kind of reminds me of Aztec football under Rocky Long. Like, let your defense win the game. Let your pitching win the game. We're not going to rely on Fernando Tatis Jr. to bail us out. They shouldn't. He won't be. He's not bailing anyone out. Let their pitching win it. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. Now, I use the S word. That's sustainability, Jim. Like, Tatis has to get going. Has to. Jackson Merrill has to play better. There's no ceiling reached here with Fernando Tatis Jr. looking like this. And the same thing with Jackson Merrill, who's swinging through way too many pitches and has struggled by and large since coming back from this hamstring injury. And has hit just 5 home runs this year. I know he missed a lot of time, but he's hit just 5 home runs this year. And Tatis ain't touching 40 home runs like I talked about with the way he's playing right now. He'll be lucky to hit 30 home runs this year. So what's it going to take? What is it going to take to get these guys going? At least you're not in a tailspin where you've lost 6 straight. But we all know that you're not getting where you want to go without these guys performing.
I didn't want to be this guy. I didn't. And I thought that Tatis turned a corner. I thought that this was going to be the year with his first month of the season that you're like, yeah, that's the Tatis. That's the 2021 version. That's the guy with the 900 OPS right there. That's the dude that can get you 40+ home runs. The narrative on Tatis, sadly, is he's probably never going to be that player again because of everything that he's gone through. And it is going to become a bigger conversation and louder the more time that passes, where Tatis is not close to the 42 home run player. He's closer to like a 25, 26 home run player that can't stay healthy. And unfortunately, he did this to himself, so I can say it. Steroids are going to be a big part of that conversation. How can you honestly have a 3-year stretch where your OPS is like a 950 OPS? You take steroids, you get suspended, and then the following 3 years, your OPS is barely 800. How can you not have that narrative? How can you not talk about that? How can those things not correlate with each other? I'm sorry. That's on him. That's his fault. I'm not the one that's like saying something that no one else is thinking, but it is true that this guy was a 950 OPS player. Then he got popped for steroids, and now he's barely an 800 OPS player, a complete shell of the 2021 version that we saw, that we thought this dude's like going to be freaking on his way to the Hall of Fame, 500 home runs. I mean, this guy can't do anything right now. And it's only up to him. Like, the only way to have that narrative not follow him for the rest of his career is he's got to go out there and prove it. And right now he's proving that, unfortunately, maybe there was something going on in the first 3 years of his career, because right now, the last 3, after he got popped for roids, he's looking like a pretty average player compared to what we saw in 2021.
Tweet it, and he will turn this around, because you said it, but now you got to tweet it. By the way, to back up Jim's point, a 965 OPS through 2021, and I believe through tonight, his OPS is under 800 since returning after the suspension, maybe 799, 798. He went from 965 to 799, 798. 3 years, 965, 3 years, nowhere near that player. So someone explain it, because what Jim is saying is what the narrative will be outside of San Diego.
What do you mean
the
otherwise
narrative
what? I'm not doing this on purpose. It's a fact.
The narrative is going to be that he was a different player pre-suspension.
Yeah.
Not is going to be. That's the narrative. Like, we don't talk about it here locally that much because we're in San Diego, and I think we're all enamored with Fernando Tatis Jr. when he's at his best. Make no mistake. We're all pulling for him. We're rooting for him. But, like, the narrative is the narrative. He had his numbers, and now he's had these numbers. Explain it. I mean, how do you explain it?
Now,
what are we waiting for? He's 26.
I will say this. You know, it's not like he's not had stretches where he looks like, because he absolutely has had stretches where he looks like that guy.
Yep.
He's
late
had
last
moments.
Year, early this year,
late last year. Not really many moments in 2023. That was more or less just like, can you stay healthy for a full year?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we were cool with that at the time.
Yeah. I was like, look, and I think I said I gave him a pass that season. Not like from criticism, but I wanted to see him stay healthy for a full year. And then I remember saying, if the next year and the following year looks more like this year, then that's going to be a problem. And that's going to be a conversation. Well, guess what? The following year he was injured. So maybe it's not fully fair for last year because he was injured for a lot of the season. So maybe he does put up closer to the numbers he had in 2021. But right now, in the midst of the worst stretch of his professional career, and he looks awful too, by the way. Like, he looks awful. You are concerned that this is going to be the guy for the foreseeable future. And everyone was hoping he would be the guy closer to 2021. And something that we have not talked about, like, at all. I don't think anybody in this freaking town has talked about this. You know, we talk all the time about Xander Bogaerts and his contract, right? Like, worst contract in the history of the Padres. Right. Not saying that about Tatis. I'm not saying that about Tatis. But the dude is paid $40 million. That's his contract for 14 years.
14 years, yeah.
So, I mean, you're a $30 million player, and you're not acting like it.
Yeah, it's not to say, I'm certainly not saying it's because of the suspension, but I am saying there is a unique correlation that he was a different player and injuries are a big part of it. If you want to say injuries, that's fine. If you want to say suspension, that's fine. I think depending on who you're a fan of, you might say something differently about Tatis. But the truth is, the facts are the facts. Who he is through 2021 is not the player he's been since returning. Why? Is it injuries? I don't know what it is, but there has to be a reason. This is a large sample size. It's not to say he can't get back to being the player that we've seen him be before, but to your point, he did it at parts of 2024, in parts of 2025. But it's damn concerning because, again, I said this week on John and Jim, the worst thing you can say about a superstar is they failed to live up to their potential. And I would say that about Fernando Tatis Jr. to this point in his career. From what I thought he would be to who he is today, I'm expecting more. I still need to see. In fact, I'm expecting a lot more. My expectation was this guy would be a 3-time MVP and hit 40 home runs 5+ times in his career and be a 12-time All-Star. Mm-hmm. That was my expectation. I mean, there's a long way to go to get anywhere near what my expectation was 4 years ago.
Now, the good thing about Tatis is, you know, with these seasons that are just like what? You know, last year he did perform in the postseason. So, like, you have to give him credit for that. In the postseason, he has performed.
He's been a great postseason player.
Albeit it was, you know, in 2020 in the COVID year. But last year he was incredible in the postseason. I would have loved to seen him, you know, in this team, obviously in the NLCS and hope, you know, potentially the World Series and see what he could have done. But yeah, his seasons right now, you look at his numbers and it's really hard to be like, what happened? You know? And you're like, man, those injuries and then that suspension, I hope that didn't really just mess him up. And I see people in the chat getting sensitive about this. Like, I'm sorry, guys.
I get it.
I get it. Some of these things you don't like hearing, but
sometimes you got to be told sometimes you got to tell it like it is. And here's the thing: you'll never hear this locally. Like you're not. But the truth is, this is what if you're like, if you're covering the sport, this is what people would be saying about Fernando Tatis Jr. Like if you're really covering this team, if you're really aware of how this is playing out, this is way too long of a slump for Tatis. He's got to get out of it. Nobody's expecting him to be this player, including me and Jim. I would be shocked if the season ended and it was just this completely mid-year and he never awoke from this. Like if this just keeps going and he hits 22 home runs and hits 249. No, I mean, he's got to awaken. He's capable of doing it. I'm just wondering, when is he going to do it? Let's get back to the conversation in a moment. I want to tie in this super with our title sponsor. How about this from Mr. Robot, who says he got a new car insurance policy through Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. How cool is that? Thank you, Mr. Robot.
Oh,
so I gotta take a screenshot of that and let Mark know that we're talking about this right now on the air. A lot of you guys have done business with Mark over the years. He says, love the show, boys. Keep it up. Thank you, Mr. Robot, for letting us know. I'll keep the super up here as we talk about our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz. He's been with us for 4 years. I have 3 insurance policies through Mark, and now I've got like the cycle with Mr. Robot because I don't have auto, but I have homeowners, earthquake, and life insurance through Mark. So whatever you need, he's there for you. He's a diehard Padres fan. I mean, he's truly a diehard Padres fan, native San Diegan. And is great at his job. If you ever need him, he will be there for you. Trust me, Mr. Robot. Trust me for our viewers. He's been there for me and my family. He has saved us so much time and so much money. Whatever it is, auto, home, renter's life, earthquake, condo insurance, whatever it is, click that link in the description down below. Call Mark. He'll give you free quotes online, or he'll give you free quotes if you call him. He'll give you free quotes online as well. If you support this channel, please get in contact with our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz, by clicking the link in the description down below.
Yeah, all his information's on that ticker below. mnimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to our buddy Mark, let him know that John and Jim from the wrap-up show sent you. I want to call out one of our sensitive viewers tonight. Not So Seven, I don't think that's how it says.
Or maybe like Not So Sven.
Not So Sven.
And that's a cool little headshot or whatever.
It's a cool AI thing. Maybe it should be called Not So Sensitive. Even though he is very sensitive tonight. Look,
I haven't even read it.
He said, so what's your take after the first month or month and a half? He's amazing. He's back. I mean, if you listen to us, we were praising Tatis. Like,
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, he was.
We weren't saying he's back. We said he was back in September last year.
Yeah, we were like, MVP. But look, I'm just saying, right now in the midst of his big slump that he is in, okay, unless he, I don't know, becomes the guy that he was to start the year, and he does end up hitting 35 home runs, because he could do that. But like if at the end of the year, if at the end of the season he ends up with like 27 home runs and a 790 OPS and 60 to 75 RBIs, and he hit 263,
20 steals.
I mean, come on.
I mean, remember what I said earlier in the week? Was it here on John and Jim? I expected this guy to be Ronald Acuna 2.0. Like, I expected him to be the better version of Ronald Acuna. He has not been. Now, it's a high bar. I'm talking about some of the best players in the sport. We thought Fernando Tatis Jr. would be a top 3 player in the sport and an MVP at some point in his career. He's nowhere near it right now. First month of the season, he played like a top 3 player. Right now, he's like replacement level over the last month, or below that probably, to be honest.
Mr. Sensitive still says in the chat, so long slump means let's talk about the quote wide perception and steroids. His OPS is still 800 after slump.
It's not our fault he was suspended, and it's not our fault about the injuries. And he's fed the narrative. He's fed it. You know what I mean? Like in baseball, it's a scarlet letter. It sucks. We never talk about the suspension. And we're not directly tying the suspension to his struggles. It may be more injury dependent. It might just be who he is. Maybe the player we saw 5 years ago isn't the player today for whatever reason. But it's not our fault that he was suspended for half a season and he wears that scarlet letter from now until the day he retires. That's how baseball works, unfortunately. It absolutely sucks. We love Fernando Tatis Jr. at his best. Everyone does. Absolutely love him. But we don't love him playing like this. And then you got to talk about it. Why is he playing like this?
Look, not so sensitive. I mean, if you want to get upset with anybody, you should be getting upset with Fernando Tatis Jr. Like, he did this to himself. He's the one in this slump right now. All right. He's the guy that went from a 950 OPS player for the first 3 seasons of his career to an 800 OPS player for the last 3 seasons of his career. Okay. You should be mad at him. All right. If you're going to be all butthurt in this chat, be butthurt towards Tatis, not to like what we're saying. And if you can't handle a little bit of criticism for your favorite player, then you shouldn't be here. Sorry.
He's legit like my favorite player ever. I bought his rookie card, and from that point on, he's been the worst player. He's like Eric Hosmer,
Your fault,
worse.
John.
So he's my favorite player. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. That's kind of the point of the show, and that's the point of being a fan sometimes. Padres Payne, thank you for the Superman. Guys, if you are here, about 300 of you are here right now live. Subscribe. Year-round content for you, in season, out of season, and we tell it like it is. That's what separates the show from the rest of people that cover this team. So subscribe, and thank you for the super chats. Click the $sign below the chat box. Padres Payne says 8th win. This is amazing. And that's a
crazy.
Big number. 8th win, scoring 2 or fewer runs. They've only played what I don't know the numbers, 60, 61, 62 games. So they have 100 games to be played. They already have 8 wins. You carry that out. I mean, you're talking 20-ish wins, scoring 2 runs or less. That's a huge number. You should not be winning a lot of games scoring 2 runs or fewer. But they are. That's a credit to their pitching staff. That's a credit to Ruben Niebla. It's a credit to their bullpen. I don't know if that trend continues or not. That's an amazing stat.
Also, this is their what? Like, how many shutouts have they had this year? I feel like this
1 million.
It's a crazy number. I don't have the number exactly.
Either do I. Does someone know? It's a huge
I think it's
number.
Like 14 or something.
Is it that many? It's a big number.
I'm about to just lose it on this guy here in a second. But yeah, it's got to be like 13, 14, 15, I think. Right?
I could find it out if you wanted without counting.
How about you look this up and I'm going to just rip this
Yes,
guy.
do it. Do it. I'll just listen.
You have a narrow view on Tatis. You don't look how he gets pitched or umped. You just look at numbers and bitch when they aren't high. So you're right. I'm going to blame the umpire for Fernando Tatis slumping. And you know what? I'm going to blame that the pitching is just, oh my gosh. I mean, Tatis, if he just laid off that pitch on the outside corner, he'd be amazing. He would just be amazing. And if that umpire didn't call that one ball or that one strike a ball or that one ball a strike, man, he'd be incredible right now. It's all the umpire's fault. I figured it out, John. The umpire is the reason why Tatis is slumping. This guy's figured it out.
And you know the other reason is how he's getting pitched, but like that's his job.
Oh, you mean the other
pitchers
player
are getting him out?
The player on the mound has a job to get the player at the plate out? That's crazy, dude. Mind blown.
I mean,
Holy
dude,
shit.
I want to know, like, in all seriousness, not so, Sven, because Jim's going at you and I'm being more reserved here. Tell me honestly, where are we? What would you like us to say? I want to know, because you think we're being unfair in this situation when this isn't a slump, dude. It's a quarter of the season now. I mean, you're pushing 40 games. So are we just supposed to wait and then be praiseworthy when he does turn around and not talk about it for 30 or 40 games? Like, we talk about this every day for 5 hours, man. John and Jim for 4 hours, wrap-up show for 1 hour. It's impossible to do this job without reacting. It's not an overreaction. It's a reaction. You know? So sometimes you just got to react. Sometimes you got to like live. And we're not scared really to do that. And by really, I mean, we're not scared to do it. I mean, you can disagree. That's completely kosher.
Yeah.
But
and if you disagree, then I'll probably have to disagree with you as well, which we're doing tonight. Like, this is probably the right type of take. Like, Tatis, one of my favorite players, but he needs to stop swinging at those low breaking balls. Like, exactly. You know, like at the start of the year, he wasn't striking out. He wasn't swinging at bad pitches. And then for whatever reason, he decided to just go YOLO mode and swing at everything. I mean, look, again, we've talked about this. There could be things, and we've said this too. There's probably multiple things and a multitude of things.
Multitude, yeah, we love that.
That are a reason for this. Like, we don't know about their personal lives. We don't know what he's dealing with at home or, in his personal life that could be affecting him, every day, right? Like, these guys aren't just robots; they're human beings. So, I think there's multiple things that is playing to this slump. But you're right, John. It's not a 2-week slump. His last 30 games, so well over half of the season.
Yeah,
he's hitting 187.
It's not just that. And I saw he followed up, like, have you discussed what he's going through personally? First of all, there's nothing that's being publicly reported about what Fernando Tatis Jr. is going through off the field or any loss that he has experienced. And this is professional sports. I'm not going to bring that to the table.
What loss? I don't.
Yeah, we don't know.
Like
and nobody.
TMZ and a reporter.
Yeah, what loss are we talking about? I mean, we read the articles that Padres fans read. We know what's publicly reported, and you know how professional sports work. No one cares. It's a cruel game. It's zero sum. I'm not saying that, like Jim just said, they're real people. I get it. We're real people. There's good days and bad days, and people do deal with a lot of very sensitive topics off field, but they're asked to produce and they're paid to do it, and that's the job they have to do. That is the job. You may not love that. I understand it. That's hard. But that's what they're asked to do, not just Fernando Tatis Jr., all of these athletes, all of them.
What the fuck is this? You're in the media.
I think he's kidding.
Okay. I was going to say,
I don't think he's here. I really don't.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Let me get to one of these supers. Guys, if you're here, subscribe. If you're here, thank you for the supers. Click the $ below the chat box. Irie Fan Geek, thank you for your longtime support. He says Estrada and Mayfield, Cash Mayfield for Jarren Duran. I don't think Estrada goes anywhere. Cash Mayfield's one of their young pitching prospects. He says, y'all, love y'all for life. We appreciate that. I mean, it's going to cost a pretty penny to get Jarren Duran, but I have no desire to trade Jeremiah Estrada.
I don't.
None.
Why?
Sorry.
Yeah. Any trade that I make, if I'm AJ Preller, if any trade AJ Preller makes here, I would highly doubt it's going to involve any player at the big league level right now. And when you have a bullpen as a weapon, their bullpen's a weapon. Like, yeah, they've had ups and downs, and that right after I said they're the best bullpen in baseball, they went on like a 10-game stretch where they sucked. My bad. But they're a weapon. Jeremiah Estrada is this team's future closer. Like you
could be.
I'm just thinking, if in a postseason series you got, in a perfect world, if these guys are all clicking at once, Estrada, Adam, Suarez, you short that game to 6 innings. You get the lead after 6, that thing is over. Yep. And throw in Morejon, all right? So it's like you short that game even to 5 innings. You get the lead after 5, boom, Morejon, Estrada, Adam, Suarez, boom. So I'm trading prospects for whoever they go after.
You never want to create a need by addressing one. It's like baseball 101. You never want to address a need and create another. And that's why you have to do it from your system. You can't do it from your major league roster by and large. I mean, by and large, again, if you're trading for Juan Soto, okay, the rules change a little bit, but they're not trading for Juan Soto at the deadline this year, that type of player. Patman 0074, thank you for the super chat. You can click the $ below the chat box if you want to support. John and Jim with you on the wrap-up show. He says he's hitting the ball just as hard as 2021. He just can't get the ball in the air. Fair. Any talk of steroids is either stupidity or slander. I don't think anyone said here he's either him being on the steroids were the reason for his 3-year success and him being off steroids are the reason for his 3-year slump. We're just saying, look at the time when he was really good. It was pre-suspension. Look at what's happened since the suspension. He hasn't been the same player. We said it could be injury. But I think from a narrative perspective, Patman, I think you would agree with this, that if you're not in San Diego, this isn't even a conversation. Someone would just look at the back of his baseball card and be like, he took steroids. He's not the same player. I mean, they wouldn't even address that, any of the all the things that we all say about Tatis that never get tied to steroids. Everyone else says the exact opposite. They're just like, the good dude took steroids. That's the starting point with Fernando Tatis Jr. until he returns the player that he was. I'm just telling you how it is.
And by the way, once again, who caused this to be the narrative? Wasn't me. Wasn't John. It was Fernando Tatis Jr. This is his fault. Okay? He did this to himself. So for the rest of his career, like John just said, that's the narrative until he can prove otherwise. Okay? If the last 3 years after his suspension and his injury, by the way, he was just putting up the same numbers, no one would be talking about this. At least here. But like nobody. And it just, but unfortunately, like he did this to himself. So if you think that any talk of steroids are either stupid or slander, the guy did it to himself. Fernando Tatis Jr. did this. Not me, not John, not you. Fernando Tatis Jr. And
it sucks.
It sucks because I don't want to be talking about this.
Yeah.
I'd rather be just
suspension.
Yeah. And look, there is still a lot of time this year for Fernando Tatis Jr. to put up a really good season. And he is just in a massive slump. I'm just saying, like, if this continues, all right, and you look at the back of his baseball card at the end of the season, and he's put up a 790 OPS, like, what the hell happened to this guy? That's the question you ask. And then your mind immediately goes to where? Well, 3 years ago, he got suspended for taking PEDs. And 3 years since then, it's been a shell of his first 3 years.
We said this the day he was suspended. I said, here's what's going to happen. If he doesn't hit, it's because of steroids. That's what people are going to say. If he does hit, people might say, well, he's still on steroids. Truthfully, I said there was no winning here nationally. When a baseball player is popped for PEDs, the game changes. I mean, we've all watched this play out. Kevin asked him. We had Kevin on. Thank you, Jeremiah, for bringing it up. Kevin specifically asked him, is there any ill effect from getting hit in Pittsburgh? I think it was May 2nd or whenever it was, May 1st or April 30th. He said no. Kevin asked the specific question. He said it has nothing to do with physical health. Kevin said that, and I think he wrote it. So we can't use that. And even if he had been impacted by it, he's on the field every day. It's like this guy's making, like Jim said, I mean, he's in the middle of your lineup, actually at the top of it. He's getting paid handsomely. It's Fernando Tatis Jr. There aren't excuses.
Now, the thing, though, with that moment, and as I said earlier, like, I think it's multiple things that are going on with Tatis. Right. I don't think it's just one. I think that one of them 100% is the mental side of this. Like, sure, mentally, 100%. Mentally right now, he is not dealing with this slump well at all. And I think it's another. I think it's other things that are playing a factor. And I just hope that, like, last year we didn't know he was dealing with a stress reaction in his leg until about like a week before he went on the IL. We're like, what? And right. He was dealing with it from like game 2 of the season.
That's right. Yep.
So I'm hoping that the same thing doesn't happen again, where you're like, in a month, you're like, yeah, I've been dealing with a hairline fracture in my arm. Like, what? Then it would be easier to point to. But as you said, Kevin asked him like multiple times, like, are you okay from that hit by pitch? He's like, yeah.
Yeah. So, it's not that. And again, AJ Preller had to talk to this player because he's wearing his emotion on his sleeves because he's sad. Like there's a term like sad Tatis that's been playing. I get not being the most, happy player when you're dealing with a slump like the one he's going through. But I mean, there's been a lot. There's a lot going on here, and we'll get into all of it on the other side. Plus, we'll get to all these super chats. We appreciate your support of the channel. John and Jim with you on the wrap-up show. Listen, get to Petco Park when the Padres get back home, and when you get there against the Dodgers on Monday night, use promo code PODSWRAP with our friends at SeatGeek and take $20 off your tickets, off your order of $50 or more. Promo code PODSWRAP. If it's your first order, take $20 off your order of $50 or more with promo code PADSWRAP. Click that link in the description down below, and you're going to get the app downloaded automatically. You'll have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Again, $20 off your first purchase with promo code PADSWRAP. We thank our friends at SeatGeek for your support of the channel. It's going to be a wild week, obviously. The 3 games at Petco coming up beginning Monday. Right? Look at this. Monday, 100 level $139 with fees against the Dodgers. Take $20 off as well, your order of $50 or more. So that's as low as I've seen that in the 100 level. You can get onto the 100 level for about $100 or so. You can get upstairs for less than that. But take advantage of these offers. Use the promo code, and we'll see you at Petco Park coming up this week against the Dodgers.
Yeah, tickets ain't cheap. So use our promo code PODSRAT for $20 off your first SeatGeek order. SeatGeek, with it being MLB's official ticket marketplace, your tickets, they're fully guaranteed and instantly fulfilled in your account after purchase. SeatGeek always has your back. Each ticket's rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you're getting a good deal. So when you're looking for tickets, look for the green dot. Green means good, red means bad, and then use our promo code, like we've told you, PODSRAP, PADSWRAP, to get $20 off your first order of $50 or more.
Let's get back to this conversation, some of these super chats. John and Jim with you. Yeah, I mean, sometimes difficult conversations are difficult to be had. I get it. It's a tough conversation with Tatis. Nobody's saying this guy's career is over. I mean, that's the last thing that we're saying, but nobody's saying that he's ever going to be the exact same player he was either 5 years ago. Sunriser, thank you for the very generous super. He says next Monday he will be back. Tatis plays well against the Dodgers. LOL, I still love Tatis. He is magical when he's going. I still trust him to come through. I do too. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. I'll be waiting. He's going to do it. And everyone's going to tag Jim. He hopefully has hopefully plays another 1,600 games in his career or more. I mean, he's going to come through. No shit. He better be coming through a lot. I mean, a lot in meaningful moments, regular and postseason. He better. We all are asking for that. So yeah, he's going to be coming through, and hopefully it starts before Monday. Maybe it's this weekend, but it's at some point it's happening. The question is when.
Like, remember when he signed that contract? What did they call it?
Statue contract.
They called it statue contract. Like,
yeah,
he's not. We all talk shit about Xander's contract. Tatis's contract is bigger than Xander's contract. Now, again,
right, he's been a much better player.
Much better player. There's no way in hell I'm comparing Tatis to Xander. But still, it is up to Fernando Tatis Jr. and only Fernando Tatis Jr. to wipe away any narrative that we've talked about tonight. And it's up to him, because he put himself in this position 3 years ago, and it's up to him to change that narrative, to be the player that, we all saw the first 3 years, or at least somewhere close to that. And so then we can sit here and say, whatever he got suspended for didn't matter. Didn't matter. Same player, same guy. Whatever he got suspended for, that sucked. That's on him. That's his fault. But you know what? That's not who he is. He's not that guy. He's, he made a stupid mistake, and he's that player. He's that dude. But like, that's up to Tatis. And I'm not throwing out this like huge, wide, like this is the, this is a massive slump he's going through. And it just went down the path of talking about, what happened to him in his career tonight. But like overall, the trend of Tatis is not a really good one for how much he's getting paid, who the player that, they signed, and who we all thought he was going to be. Because when you think about it, it's like, I forget what I heard this be said, but yeah, for the next like 10 years, Tatis average is only like under 30 home runs and hits like 270 and has an OPS in the 800s. That's not the guy who they signed. Like, that's not at all the guy they signed. They signed the guy that's a 900 OPS with 40 home runs, 35 to 40 home runs every season. They signed that dude, not this guy.
189 in his last 32 games. That's the full depth of the slump. 189 in his last 32 games, which doesn't make a season, but it does make a fifth of a season. Hendrick, thank you for the super chat. Guys, if you are here, subscribe. If you're here, thank you for the super chats. We'll get to all of them here tonight. He says, Padres window is closing, likely losing Cease, King, and Suarez after the season. I don't think Suarez is a free agent after the season, is he, Jim?
Suarez?
Yeah.
I think he has like an option. His contract is very weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like where
it's
he can
weird.
opt
So maybe he
out
can opt out. Maybe that's fair,
yeah.
Hendrick. I'm not sure. I hadn't thought about that. He says, why not go all in? Prospects be damned. Unless they can keep King and Cease. Yeah, I mean, this is the all in channel. Okay. We should change the name of it, like the all in channel. I think they've tried to go all in a lot over the last 5 years, truthfully, beginning with 2020, when they thought they could maybe steal a World Series in that short year. So I think they do desire to go all in. I think they do recognize that Michael King and Dylan Cease may not be here. I don't know about the rest, Luis Arraez, Robert Suarez, for example, but I don't know if the window is closing. The window is just going to change and move. I mean, they've been able to maneuver. AJ has. I think he'll continue to maneuver it. But there'll be a year where Manny Machado doesn't play like this. There's going to be a year he's not as productive as this. And we have to recognize that. Hopefully that's still a few years away, but it is coming at some point, even if it is a few years away.
For sure. I think AJ Preller has done a really good job, like doing everything he possibly can to extend this window with Manny, right? Trading for who he has traded for. Like first it was Darvish, Musgrove, Snell. Then it was King and Cease. So we'll see what he does next to extend this thing out. But yeah, we are the all in channel. If it like we've said this, if there's an opportunity to really upgrade this team and Ethan Salas is in that conversation, I would absolutely listen on Ethan Salas to the point where like I might be tempted to trade him if I'm getting what I want back, because that kid is not progressing. He's not getting better. Now injury is a factor. He's injured right now. So how can you get better when you're injured? But even when he was healthy, I mean, this is going to take a while for him. So it's like, do you want to wait 5 years for Ethan Salas to really potentially pop? Or maybe he never pops. Who knows? But let's just say he will. Do you want to wait 5 years for that when Manny's done with his prime? Obviously, Xander's probably out the door. Tatis is in his 30s. Like your pitching is, who knows what your pitching would be, right? Like you're not having Cease, King, Musgrove, Darvish, Pavetta. Like, so do you want to wait for that, or do you want to try to maximize what you have right now? And we're on the side of maximizing what you have right now.
Yeah, completely agree. Thank you, Hendrick. Let's get to Carlos, our buddy. Dario, Mania, and here, our buddy Carlos. Thank you, man, for hanging out. Let's see what he's going on a rant here.
Oh, perfect.
In the last 15 minutes, I'm going to run through the 3 supers he has contributed. You can click the $ below the chat box if you want to weigh in and see your comment on screen. He says, honestly, I know what's going on. Another kid is tough. I didn't see the game, but I saw the score. Why can't this team score? He's talking about Tatis, I think, because he followed up by saying, I have direct knowledge of what's going on. Tatis is going through it. He went through this a year and a half ago, but it's woman drama. And then he went on to say Duran is overrated, overpriced. He's another Ryan Ludwig coming to San Diego. I can see him failing here. Luis Robert has raw talent, translatable to San Diego.
Well, look, again, I am not going to speculate on Tatis. I'm not going to say it's anything. Yeah. But what I will say is, if it is what Carlos is saying here with, and again, we've seen stuff, but like, if it is, then also whose fault is that to have them be in that situation? I mean, come on, you're a professional athlete. Like, again, I know life takes you all different directions, but you have a job and obligation to go out and perform because you've got paid $340 million over 14 years. The organization is really counting on you here, guy. You need to be a professional. And so, again, we talked about the suspension for the steroids. That's on him. Whatever is going on in his personal life, if it is this or whatever, like, that's something that he's got to deal with. And again, that's on him. That's on his shoulders. And if it's causing, or if it's a reason why this is part of his slump, then guess what? That's on him.
That's well said. I mean, in his career, he's such a when on the field, he's capable of being one of the best type players. Like, he's homered in every 4th game on average in his career. Did we realize that? He's hit 140 in just over 600 games. So every fourth and a half game, he's hit a home run. Obviously, we haven't seen that over the last month or so. So the guy is just, he's just oozing with talent. But again, we don't want to say that when he's 35. Like, man, this was such a talented player, but we never saw it fully translate. Again, we have seen it translate, but you get my point. We all thought we were talking about a complete unicorn of a player. Mm-hmm. I think we'd be lying to each other if we said this guy was truly a unicorn player, because there are other players that have been better than him, certainly since 2021, unfortunately. So now it's on him to get back to being one of the top players in the sport. Henschrick, thank you again for the super chat. He says, even at the end of 21, he slowed down to fade from the MVP race. Does Tatis need a reset somewhere else, or can he get out of his own head and emotions? Hashtag LFGSD. I do think the mental aspect of it, for whatever reason with him, does seem heavier than it is at times with other players. I think Jackson Merrill's dealing with it right now. I do think there's a mental aspect in that. Both of them are swinging and missing way more than they did in April. Tatis, 2 more strikeouts today. I think Merrill had 1. It's a hard sport, no doubt. And the mental aspect of it, some would argue, is 90% of it, right? Or more. So I do think Tatis is going through it mentally. I think Jackson Merrill's dealing with that right now. And I don't know how you get out of that, but they have an obligation to do that.
Yeah, I've not yet hit it's time to have a conversation about Jackson Merrill, because I just, second year.
Right.
Guys had 700
another day.
Yeah, guys had 700 big league at bats. He's still figuring things out.
Yeah.
Like, what's the term? It's like guys don't start figuring things out until at minimum 1,000 at bats in the big leagues. And he's not there yet. And so I still have a lot of confidence in Jackson Merrill for sure. But for Fernando Tatis Jr. in 2021, he had his shoulder sublux like 7 times or something. It's like crazy number. How many times did he go on the IL that year? Like 4?
It was a big number. I forget.
He only played like 130 games. He still had 42 home runs.
Yep.
So,
yeah, I mean, again, it's a difficult conversation. I get it. There's no like winning the debate here. Like, he's in the midst of his career. He's in the midst of a season. This conversation changes every day, truthfully, and will continue to evolve in the days and weeks ahead. Retod, thank you. He says, just wanted to plug my new podcast called Xander Sucks. 3-hour show once a week. What does Xander do tonight? Your standard. Nothing. What do you have it? Let me guess. A single.
It went 1 for 3.
With a walk. We saw that walk. That's right.
2 strikeouts. He's hitting blistering 239 on the year with a 654 OPS.
We've had that conversation, Retod, as you know. We haven't had the detailed Tatis conversation like we had tonight in a while. I mean, we've had some talks, but we haven't gone there in that
time.
depth.
It was time for the time. It was time. It was time.
I mean, how many great, like, here's a serious question for everyone in the chat. Tell me if this is fair to say. How many great all-time players go through it for this prolonged of a period of time? And I think the answer is it happens. But how often does it happen? Like, again, Tony was one of one, so throw that out. I don't think he had 32 games like this in the big leagues. But how often he needs to watch Maldi. How often does a player like Freddie Freeman, for example, I'm just pull him out of the hat. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. How often does a player like Freddie Freeman have 30-something games where they play like this? How often has Manny Machado had 30-something games like this? He has. Manny's a streaky player. So Manny's probably had something like this in his career a couple of times, certainly in San Diego. So my point is it happens, but how often and for how long? Because you would think the great superstar type players, like at some point you have to turn a corner. Like at what point is it just a season-long slump? He's not in a season-long slump, but you get my point. Like, is this going to go on for 50 games, 75 games, or is the end near? Because I just feel like with the one-of-one type players, with the superstars, like this is going on for too long for a player of his caliber.
If he is truly healthy, which we are led to believe,
right?
I do think that he will have a crazy hot month here. Like I do.
I do too.
I don't know if his overall numbers are going to look great at the end of the year, but I mean, We see it just as early as last year. The dude had, I think, 7 home runs in September.
Right.
So like he can put together that type of stretch. And oh, by the way, his first month and a half of the season or first month of the season was incredible. We're talking about like, is this dude going to be in the MVP conversation? And that's where we're like, hey, if this guy's healthy, he's in the MVP conversation. So like, that's the thing where I'm like confused on, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense because, and I think there's like more to this here because when he's healthy, he's incredible.
Right.
And when he's injured, you know it because he's not good. And he was injured the first half of last year with the stress reaction, came back, was incredible. Start the year, he was incredible, and then just fell off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is he injured from that pitch that hit him in the forearm? Or is he not telling the truth? Are they not telling us and he's just dealing with it? Like, I don't know. But if he is truly fully healthy right now, right? That's where this makes it just so weird because when Tatis is healthy, he's proven dude can rake other than 2023 when he returned and he was just trying to get through a full season for the first time in his career without getting injured, which he accomplished. And it's hard to play a season after you missed a year and a half.
I mean, I'd like to say maybe he's close based on that swing he had the other day in San Francisco, based on a couple of, like, he had a 2-hit game. He had a reach base safely maybe 3 times or twice in another game. But then he has since followed up, correct me if I'm wrong, with 2 days ago in San Francisco, 0 for, today 0 for 5. So it's like, are you really turning a corner just because you put a good swing in a ball a couple of days ago? I mean, I get the points. Like, if I find the worst of Machado, there's going to be a 40, 50 game stretch at the start of last year. Not good. Right. And he was coming off a real injury. We can all pull up the examples. I'll get to Sunriser in a moment, but thank you, William, for this. He says Francisco Lindor last year hit 190 for 45 games. I remember Lindor has gone through it at times in his career. It's a tough sport. We all recognize it. Completely understandable. Even the greats have had bad seasons and certainly bad stretches in seasons. Almost every single player, all the players have. So I do recognize it. I'm just saying the time has come to snap out of it. And we all feel that way. And if it extends much longer, the concern only deepens. If 32 games becomes 42 games, what will we be saying if he doesn't hit for the next 10 games and so on and so forth? Maybe it is the Dodgers. I can look up his career numbers against LA in a moment. Sunriser, thank you for this generous super. He says Merrill appears slumping as well then. Bogart slumping as well. We are riding on Manny's back this last month, and he has not been great. And he has not been great the first month. It's a baseball season. No, Manny was hitting in the first month, if you remember. He's been hitting for average all year. He hasn't been hitting for power until the last month. But we backed Manny. I mean, the guy was hitting 315. He wasn't hitting for power, but we weren't like going all in like Manny has lost his power because we said it would come, and voila, it's come.
Yeah, I mean, Merrill came back from his injury and he was red hot, like surface of the sun level red hot.
Yep.
And then he just went into a slump, like just went into a big slump. It happens, you know, it just happens. And what he's trying to figure out right now in year 2 is how to manage when he gets in a slump, how to get out of it and create a routine for when he does get in slumps to keep his mind right, to keep his body right, and to make sure he doesn't spiral, because this sport will play some really fucked up games with your head, you know, and you got to just kind of overcome that and just move on to the next until you get out of that slump. So then you're better prepared for the next slump that you'll be in, you know,
right.
Like the sport's about how you get out of slumps, you know. I mean,
great point.
Like if you go 3 for 10 in a 10 at bat stretch, like for your entire career, you know my point. You're for a 300 hitter, you're like a Hall of Famer almost, you know. So it's like you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer, and that's the challenge. Is of the 7 times you fail, making sure that doesn't turn into something way worse.
Mm-hmm. I also want to, like, okay, right. There's the Merrill conversation where he's not in as deep as a slump as Tatis. He's swinging and missing more. He's striking out more. He's nowhere near in the same depths of a slump than Fernando Tatis Jr. I was just looking real quick if Tatis got his batting average. He actually is now over 200 against left-handed pitching, but that's a whole nother thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a whole nother thing that Tatis should be eating up left-handed pitching. and he hasn't for the better part of the last 2 years.
Right.
And he's been a good career hitter against left-handed pitching. So there's a lot there. He's also a tinkerer, so to speak, more than a lot of batters are. I think there's something there as well. Like I just, to your point, it's like multi-pronged with Fernando Tatis Jr. There's not an answer here. There's not one reason. I think there's actually probably too many reasons, which makes it even like more challenging to figure out.
It's almost like, remember when Manny and Tatis got into it in St. Louis, and it was like,
oh God,
like you're the fucking man. Like, you're the best player on the team. Like, act like it. That's kind of what you're waiting for. It's like, dude, be that guy again. And you were that guy at the start of the year, and that was freaking awesome. Go be that guy again. You like hype yourself up, dude. Like, you're fucking awesome. Go out there and be that.
It's well said. Yeah, 100%. 100% right. I honestly, it's not going to happen with them 10 games over 500, but I would like to see a little more from Tatis. Again, it's easy to say when a player's not playing well. It's easy. Mm-hmm. It's easy to be critical, but I don't know. Something's got to change.
And the crazy part is, like, they're getting this done right now.
They are.
While he is slumping. Like tonight, great example. He goes 0 for 5, and it's a great win. So.
I know. Guys, pick up a Mova Globe today. Support the channel and pick one of these up. They have all 30 teams officially licensed. Terrific products. Great for a home or work office. The great gift idea you're looking for the baseball fan in your life. They have all 30 teams officially licensed. And if you use promo code PWS10, that stands for Padres Wrap-Up Show, PWS10, you're getting 10% off. Click that link in the description down below. It's a San Diego company. They have this technology that was invented actually right here in North County. They have all 30 teams. So pick it up for the baseball fan in your life. Your family's going to love them. They're great for a home or work office. Just a great gift idea you're looking for the baseball fan that's got everything else. They spin automatically. There are no cords. There are no wires. There are no batteries. So pick one of these up. Get 10% off. Click the link in the description down below. Use promo code PWS10.
Yeah, get him over the Globe today. If you're a Padres fan, pick this thing up. PWS10, promo code in the chat below, link in the chat below. Pick one up for a bookshelf, work desk, nightstand. Just because you like the Padres or you love the Padres, get him over Globe today.
If he doesn't hit 3 home runs tomorrow, then we got nothing. Then our power is just gone. Our magic, like, poof. Like, we should be good for a couple tomorrow. And you can thank us when Toddy hits 2 home runs tomorrow.
Oh, dude, if Tatis tomorrow
doesn't homer.
No, if he does homer.
It's because of us.
I mean,
like, we get credit.
But again, if he doesn't, and this was not just like for a bit tonight.
Then you might have to tweet.
I might have to tweet. Shit.
You might have to tweet. If he is 0 for tomorrow, you tweet. For the good of the channel, for the good of the team, for the good of the city, for the good of America.
Okay.
If he's 0 for tomorrow, and that includes a walk. Don't give me some freaking walk. 0 for 3 with a walk's not good enough tomorrow. If he goes 0 for, you tweet.
Okay. Scorched earth.
We all put our hands in. Everyone in the chat.
Ready, break.
Right, chat?
Scorched earth tweet or like what?
Most people in the chat would probably tell you to tweet right now.
Scorched earth tweet?
No, just the Machado. Like, Toddy is going through it. Like, he can't figure this thing out. Yikes. Just your standard, like, general, what the hell is going on tweet.
All right. Maybe I already have something in my drafts ready to go.
Oh, do you really? What was I going to say? Updates on Michael King didn't sound good. Mike Schultz spoke earlier today. They're like, no timetable. They haven't even begun the process of ramping Michael King back up. So you're not going to see him anytime soon. Kevin Acee today on John and Jim said, quote unquote, he would be shocked if Michael King returned before the All-Star break. Yu Darvish, nobody has any clue. I think he's supposed to throw a bullpen this weekend in San Diego. Maybe that begins the process of getting him back towards a major league mound. And that's how you end up in a series where we had the voice of, or one of the radio voices of the Brewers on today. And he's like, wow, Randy Vasquez and Stephen Kolek and Ryan Berger. I didn't expect that out of a Padres 3-man, 3-game series. That's going to be the rotation the Padres are throwing. But that's where we are. And thankfully, they've been able to survive it to this point. Keaton, thank you for the super. He says, do you think we will do well against the Dodgers? Could be crucial inflection point in the season. Worst case, we get smoked and we might. No. There's no selling. The Dodgers have not played brilliantly. That doesn't mean they can't go 6-1 over some 7-game series against another team, but they haven't played brilliantly. Let's be honest. I think they'll be fine, truthfully, against the Dodgers. I'm expecting good games, Jim, because the Padres have been in a lot of good games, but I'm not expecting the Dodgers to just dominate the upcoming 7 games between these two teams. I'm really not. I think it'll be competitive. Hopefully the Padres play well. I don't think it's an inflection point in terms of your buying or selling. I just think it's big because it's the Padres and the Dodgers.
I'm going to say this. I'm sorry, but like they could get swept by the Dodgers and they would still be okay. We'd be pissed. Yeah. We would be pissed. And
they'd be all right.
it would be some spicy wrap-up shows.
Oh my gosh.
Spicy John and Jim shows. But they would still be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you never want that to happen, though. But the reality is you have to, and sometimes it's hard. I get it. It's hard for me, too. It's hard for John. Well, it's mostly hard for me. But, like, the team was 50-50 last year. They won 93 games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've seen teams at this point in the season be under 500 and win the World Series. Yep. So, like, even if they don't play well against the Dodgers, which none of us want to see that, but even if they don't, they get swept or, you know, whatever, they're still going to be okay.
I agree. Now, Audrey is taking exception with some of the talking points tonight. Audrey, thank you for the super. Saying, bashing on our stars ain't it. Long season, boys.
Audrey, thank you for the super chat. I'm going to disagree with you, and I'm going to disagree with you in the sense that when me and John have these shows and we talk about, you know, players slumping or guys not doing well or players injured or Xander Bogaerts, right? You have to look at it from the standpoint we're coming from. We are not just sitting here bashing players just to bash players. We are critiquing. We are giving our opinions. We are being critical, and we are telling you the truth. So if we came on tonight and we're like, you know what? I don't like Manny Machado. That's bashing a player for like no reason. But when we come on tonight and have a conversation about Fernando Tatis, or when we have conversations about Xander Bogaerts, or conversations about whoever else, if they're not doing well, right? That you can't look at it as bashing. It's things that you might not like to hear, and we're sorry, right? If you want to go to a Homer channel, there's plenty in this town for that. All right. When the Padres do well, we tell you. When they don't do well, we tell you. That's what we do.
It's like if you're going to sit down and do it the right way, if you're going to spend 4 or 5 hours a day on it, 4 or 5 hours, guys, like I'm not making that up. 4 or 5 hours. We do it during the day. We do it at night. Then you can't do a disservice with it. You got to be truthful. You got to be honest. You got to offer your opinion. Doesn't mean you're always right, but I always love the sentiment, and this isn't Audrey's, and Audrey's a supporter of this channel. Audrey's been here a ton, and I appreciate the super chat. I really do. I'm glad we can have these types of conversations. You can't do what we do, and I love when people are like, why don't you just wait until the end of the season and reserve judgment? Because it's a long year. Like, well, how? I mean, what does that even mean? You can't have strong reactions over the course of 162 because things change. Yeah, things do change. That's kind of the point.
You know how often
it's a roller coaster. But it's a roller coaster. I know. But the joy of the roller coaster is there's ups and there's downs. I mean, I just like when I do something, I want to dive all in. I'm not putting my toe in the water. Like, we're all in. How many hundreds of hours is everyone here going to spend consuming the Padres this year? It's your whole life. You go, you spend money. You go to the games, you watch pregame. You consume postgame. You listen to podcasts. You watch channels. And I hate to actually doing this. I did this a lot when I was like not younger, but maybe newer to doing this channel here. I don't like doing like, well, imagine what they would say in New York. Because San Diego is a great baseball city. It really is. And Padres fans have been terrific. And the support here is ridiculous. But I'm just saying what we're doing is not unprecedented in terms of the critiquing we're doing of a club. This critiquing occurs in New York. It occurs in San Francisco. It occurs in Philadelphia, Boston, and so on and so forth. And people recognize it. It should occur here. It's healthy. It's healthy and it's normal. They're going to draw 3.3 million fans. The interest is an all-time high. Let's treat it like it matters, which is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, like, again, we all root and want the Padres to win. That's something that we can all agree on, right? We can all agree on. Everyone in the chat, everyone watching us, we can all agree. We want the Padres to win. And we root for the Padres to win. All right. But like,
this channel is way better off, guys, when the Padres are winning.
Trust me.
I mean, it's not comparable.
Not even close. But even when they're doing, again, it's hard because like they won tonight and they played a really good baseball game, but like this conversation just went off to the right.
Yep. That's fine. We do 100 of these.
Yeah, but like when guys aren't performing or they're not doing well, like we're not going to sit here and still wave our pom-poms and be like, it's okay. We'll still, it's fine. Everything is fine. We love this team. Yay, man. Oh, our boys are, using like, I always love that when people in the media are like, my GM, we did this, we did that. We didn't do shit. Shut up. God, that's the most annoying thing in local media is when you hear a media member, even if they're fans, it's like, we did this, we did that. Shut up. You didn't do shit. God, it's so annoying to hear because then you just sound like a giant homer, which you probably wish they are, but you get my point.
Right. No, I get your point. Keaton, thank you. I didn't see this. Keaton, can you send me a link? Honestly, tag me at John Schaefer at Jim Russell SD. I need to see an article that has the Athletic listing the Padres as sellers because that makes no sense. So I need to see it. He says the Athletic pegged us as potential sellers. It was probably Ken Rosenthal behind the scenes. I please tag me in that. Can you find that and tag me because I'm genuinely interested, or email PadresWrapUpShow@gmail.com because I'd like to read it and react to it because I haven't seen that. I don't think Jim, I don't think there's a path where they go down that path, really. I think even if they struggle for the next 6 weeks, they would find a way not to be sellers. I really believe that. Similar to 2023 when they didn't sell and they should have. I don't think this team sells, and I don't think they should sell. We're 62 games into the year. They're good. So I'm like to think that over the next 30 or 40 games, they don't go completely in the tank. So I don't think this team's a potential seller.
Dude, no way. No way should there be a seller. No way are they going to be a seller. I would be shocked.
I'd be shocked. I mean, it's on them. They could, if they go 1-12 over a 13-game stretch, sure.
Dude, this is a go for it year. Go for it year. And you hope that they're playing well enough to where AJ Preller, and I'm sure he already sees that, he's like, okay, I see what we got. And I hope he acts soon and not waits. But even if he does wait, we've seen Preller in the past with teams that are good. Dude goes all in. You saw what he did last year? He went all in. 2022, all in. All right? 2020, all in. Even 2024, he still made moves to try to improve the team. Mm-hmm. Like, he's going to make moves. That's like a given. I just have a question for Chris. I'm not going to bring it up. But Chris V in the chat, who was it that said that about Xander? I want to, Chris V. Who was it? Just put in the chat. I don't want to bring it up. Who was it that said that about Xander because fans were frustrated with them? I want to know because I think I know who it is.
Dude that flipped out.
Yeah, the dude that flipped out because
fans were frustrated with Xander.
Yeah, who was it?
How could you not be frustrated with Xander?
I want to know who it was. I want to know who it was. Just put it in the chat.
I mean, if you're not frustrated with Xander, I mean, that's amazing to me.
I want to know. I want to know what moron said that. It really was him? Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Again, it's like, well, you just listen. What you deserve, I've said this so many times before. What you deserve is the truth. What you deserve is honesty, and what you deserve is our true opinion. That doesn't mean we're right.
Oh my God. Someone actually defended Xander.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's not going to be us.
Okay.
It's not going to be us. And again, you're doing a disservice by doing stuff like that.
And again, I want Xander to do well. I want him to prove me wrong. I want him to prove John wrong. I want him to prove everybody wrong. I want him to go out there and be an all-star. But it's like near impossible to defend this guy. And if you're defending this guy, I'm like, I don't know.
You might want to start by like driving in a run at some point this summer.
Dude, holy shit.
Audrey, thank you again. Audrey following up by saying, love you, Jim. It's your job. Tatis and Merrill, fine. Maybe saying that like they're fair game right now with the way that they're playing. And that's all we're saying. It's just fair game. It's all on field. By the way, when people say, how can you be going after Tatis? Look at what's going on off field. We don't talk about off field. We're never going to attack Fernando for something going on off field, ever.
All we do is talk about what's going on the field.
Yeah, the only time we bring up, I mean, again, we didn't create the suspension. That's all I'll say. You know what I mean? We would never talk about anything like that. That happened, unfortunately. So it's a talking point sometimes, unfortunately. But yeah, I think you just got to be honest. You just got to be fair. And I think we are fair, honestly. I think it rubs people the wrong way sometimes, but I do think we're fair. And I think Audrey appreciates it. And I think people here, by and large, appreciate it. Audrey says, follows up by saying, it's our pitching. 3 studs on IL playoff shield. I mean, the pitching's going to carry them, right? I mean, with the way the offense is played, the pitching's going to have to carry them. Second half shield. Second half shield.
And if they have a good record in the first half, imagine a good record in the first half coupled with a second half shield. Holy shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my. What's up?
Oh my. I'm like intrigued. I'm like very intrigued by like what was said about Xander.
You should go back and listen.
He says the Padres got exactly what they paid for. Oh, they didn't.
Bogarts was on a Hall of Fame trajectory at one point.
Fuck are you talking about?
I mean, go look at some of the best Xander seasons in Boston. Like they don't compare to this.
If anybody when was this said? Can someone put in the chat when this was said so I can go back and like maybe listen to it? Because I don't want to go search it out because I don't really care. But if someone tells me when it was, I want to go listen to it.
Or tag Jim.
No, don't tag me. Please don't. I don't want to deal with that shit.
No,
dude. So it wasn't okay. Someone says it was last week. Okay, I know who it was then.
Last week?
It wasn't who everyone's saying it was. A month ago?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Actually, you know what? I don't even care. Whatever. Whoever said it's wrong anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right. Guys, here's the deal. Let's all play underdog fantasy and go home happy, even though the Padres did win tonight. By the way, Jim cost me $75 fucking dollars. Okay. And that's because he told me to go all in on these freaking NBA Finals plays. I lost by a half point, right? I lost by a half point on Siakam and 1 point, something like that.
Go to your plays. Go to your plays.
You freaking asshole.
Go to your plays. Your results. There you go.
Yep. Hold on. I got it.
Okay. Go to that one.
Oh my gosh.
My.
Well, no. But here's what happened. I actually missed on 2. So I hit on Shea, but he had 19 points. I needed 19 and a half. And he had 30 points in rebounds and assists. I needed 31 and a half. So I missed out by 1.5 and then a half.
So like it was right there.
It was freaking right there for the taking. I was praying for overtime. I'm like, don't hit that shot. Get fouled and hit 1 free throw.
Dude, isn't it crazy how like sometimes these are so accurate?
Amazing.
Like by 1 or 2 either way. It's like they're so accurate. Man.
I think I'll double down, honestly, this weekend for game 2, but it's so simple and easy to play, guys. If you use promo code PADSWRAP, that's PADSWRAP, you're set up to win because they give you a free gimme pick. What does that look like? It looks like they'll change Shea Gilgeous-Alexander from 34.5 points higher or lower to a half point. So you'll get the winner right there, and then just pair it with another winner in a pick'em, and you can win big. The more you pick, the more you can win. You can win up to 500 times your money in a single night. If you use promo code PADSWRAP, that's PADSWRAP, you'll get the 50% deposit match up to $1,000 plus the free gimme pick. But it couldn't be simpler or easier. It's simple, higher or lower. You can play across sports. You can combine MLB. I always pick Padres. It never hits. I've been picking Fernando Tatis Jr. for a decade. Like I could put higher than a half home run. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, unfortunately. Let's see who else on the Padres is struggling. Where's
Tatis?
Merrill?
Is he on there? Oh, you already have a higher.
Yeah, I'm going to have a freaking Tatis and Merrill homer game. All right. Okay. And when that happens, and we pair it with Shea and Tyrese on Sunday night, $10 pays $1,000 essentially.
Boom.
Okay. Plus, if you flex it, which means you don't have to get them all right, you can still win huge. You can still win $542. So click the link in the description down below. Use promo code PODSWRAP and take advantage of that great offer, 50% deposit match and the free gimme pick.
Yep. QR code's right there. Scan that QR code. Download the Underdog Fantasy app. When you download the Underdog Fantasy app, use our promo code PODSWRAP. It's a requirement when you have Underdog Fantasy using our promo code, and off and away you go.
Well, that got spicy tonight, didn't it, Jim?
This is good. This is a very good John and Jim. Everyone else, me included, has been saying for this past 3 years, if Xander was hitting and playing well, we wouldn't be here criticizing him. Pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I'd be commending him, obviously. I wanted to follow, a couple of supers are rolling in here late. Like Keaton says, I put the article in the chat. I'll email, mentioned our Fangraph odds, which are worse than last year when we were mid, maybe because NL is better this year. So the article mentioned them being sellers because of like the percentages of reaching the postseason.
Nobody should be looking at those odds and then determining should they be sellers or not, especially in the National League.
It's way too early for that, too. The odds.
Yeah, dude. Don't use odds at all. I mean, no. Don't look at those odds.
Yeah, shoot me the email. Padres wrap-up show @gmail.com. I will read. Thank you, Keaton. Appreciate you. Audrey following up by saying, anyone defending Xander sucks. Go to Hawaii. Jim did.
I did go to Hawaii. I wish I could go to Hawaii again. Then I can just be happy.
That's hilarious. That's great. And then Richard, longtime viewer of the channel.
Oh, he's in Alaska.
Dodger fan, is watching from Alaska. Thank you, Richard. We appreciate you, man. He says, super from Alaska. Every team has pitching issues. Don't put any stock into this series. These rosters will be different in October. Interesting. He's talking about Padres, Dodgers. Mm-hmm. There's something to be said for that. Everyone's going to put all the stock in the world in this, Richard. As you know, everyone will put everything into this. But your point is valid. This will be an afterthought 3 or 4 months from now when these teams have played a lot more and when the season like deepens. But everyone's overreacting, Jim. I mean, if the Padres win this series, you know, they're going to win the World Series. If they lose this series, it's more of the same. It's 2024 NLDS all over again. That's what people will be saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big series. It's going to be
teams are separated by 1 game.
Yeah, I know. You know, at the end of the series, the Padres could be in first place depending on how they play in these next 2 games against the Brewers. Right. But like, they have a chance if they play well here in the next couple games to have a chance to be in first place by this time next week, and like that's pretty cool. But again, even if that were to happen, by no means should anybody be start celebrating that they're going to win the division. It's a long season to go. So yeah.
Appreciate you, Richard. All right, this has been longer than expected for a
way too long
Friday night. 90 minutes, guys. Who else is giving you 90 minutes on a Friday night near midnight Pacific? So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, you have to do that. That's all we ask. All right. The fact that there's only 8,500 subscribers of this channel is legit criminal. I mean, I'm not kidding when I say that. Like, there should be way more than 8,500 subscribers on this channel. So if you know a Padres fan that's not watching the wrap-up show that has not subscribed, please make them aware. Subscribe. Smash the like button. Follow us on X @John Schaefer @Jim Russell SD. If you're here on replay, appreciate the 90 minutes of content. We appreciate your super thanks as well. Thank you for those that have become members. Please support our partners. We can't do this without you guys here live and on replay. We can't do it without our partners, our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz, our friends at Humboldt Casino. Pick up a MOVA Globe. Go to SeatGeek and pick up Padres tickets. Go to Underdog and go win $1 million. And we will see you guys Sunday night, wrapping up this series, getting ready for the Doyers on Monday at Petco Park. We will see you Sunday night. We'll wrap up Padres and Brewers, and then we'll be back, of course, talking all about the Dodgers next week as well. So subscribe. Until then, we'll be coming up with drafts of tweets about Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
All right. For Jim, I'm John. This has been the Wrap Up Show. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Padres